Okay, good evening. It's another political show. Today we're going to be spotlighting Kemi Badenoch, the leader of the Conservative Party in the UK, Tories as they are called. She has distanced herself, playing some kind of identity politics from being a Nigerian, and she seems to embrace British nationality more. Whether that is a strategic political strategy or whether it is just downright hypocrisy, we'll be discussing that myself and Mustafa. You're welcome to the show.
Yeah, I can't even tell because if if she doesn't really hate Nigeria, the way she talks, it sounds like she hates the place. If she doesn't really hate it, then she's a good actor because it seems like she hates it. She or I'm using the word hate, it's too strong. She talks so badly about Nigeria. She even says so much as blackness is not a club, so don't mention me as black. I'm just a human being. Okay. But here's the thing. We all know that we're all human beings, but we know that in this world, when you're black or you're African, they don't see you as part of their club. They're going to put you in our club of black people, whether you like it or not. You understand
Of
what I'm
course.
trying to say?
Yeah.
It's like me going to England and saying, "Oh, I'm British. I don't associate with Nigeria." Fine, you have the right to do that. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but to those people looking at her, she's black and she's Nigerian, whether she likes it or not. Now, I'm not being facetious when I say this. She says she's distanced herself from Nigeria. She doesn't want to be Nigerian. Leave her. It shouldn't even be a news story anymore. After today, we'll never
Yeah.
bring this up again because she has the right. This is someone who grew up in Nigeria, left when she was 16, went to college. She's distanced herself. She's talked bad about immigrants in general. And she's saying, just because I'm black, don't put me there. She stands up for all other groups, uh, except for black. And she says, don't put me in that black. No problem. So you're not black to yourself, but to the rest of the world, you are. And she will see because a lot of times, a lot of those guys disrespect her when they're having those meetings in parliament. The way they talk to her, I can tell they're like, "Who is this black woman?" Because she's very intelligent,
Yeah, she's
but
quite intelligent.
but
Yeah.
she thinks she can shrug off her. And I think she did it for strategic reasons, to be honest with you.
Oh,
But
sure.
I think
Absolutely.
but I think that at a certain point, the disrespect she's given to Nigeria and to her heritage, we have to just assume that she really means it. I don't think she loves her country at all. I don't think she does. Well, her country is Britain. Let me stop. Nigeria is not her country. Britain is
Yeah.
her country. What do you
Yeah.
know? So, what are the things that stood out to you about the research we did that you want to address right now, Falabi, about her before I take to the next topic? Yeah.
She's reluctant to identify with Nigeria. To me, she's playing politics, and that is a
Yeah.
reflection of her true identity. Now, as a Conservative Party aspirant, in order for her to succeed, she needs to align herself with British values and identity. And I think that's why she chose that strategy to undermine Nigeria while
Yeah.
elevating the British values. Now, if you look at all what she says she grew up in Nigeria under a military regime, highlighting corruption, unreliable electricity, and bad governance. Where in the world do you have reliable electricity and you don't have bad governance? You know, she mentions growing up with constant electricity in Nigeria, but the UK also faces energy crisis with millions
Yeah.
of people struggling to pay their
And
bills
and and
during the
and
winter.
here's the irony. She said in Britain we're more orderly. We don't have those problems. And she's looking down on her country, which is suffering so much because of what the British did to our country and our culture,
Of course,
to the point where
imperialism.
she has to disown her parents' culture, her
Yeah,
parents' country, and go there. And we know, and the country she loves, she said we don't want immigrants there. Britain was built off of immigrants and off of colonialization. And now when we
of
flee
course.
to them, they say that
Africans
we're
and
lazy.
Jamaicans.
Yeah, they stole everything. They don't want to give us back our Benin mass. The way they created Nigeria. Nigeria is not a natural country. It's not organic. They took Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, and say, "Oh, this is your country." For
Yeah,
example, someone in Kano has more in common with someone in Nigeria than they do with
absolutely.
someone in Ororonshoki.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
understand what
You
I'm saying?
remember
And
Warren
someone
Shoki?
and someone in Badagry has more
Yeah,
in common with someone in Benin Republic than they do with someone in Bauchi.
yeah.
So the way the British put Nigeria together was rubbish. Then they turn their nose up at us and say that we're not this and that. But we also have ourselves to blame. And I think we have ourselves to blame by continuing focusing on her. Let her do what she wants. If she becomes prime minister of Nigeria, it's of no concern of ours because she's not Nigerian. so we don't have to celebrate. And not only that, we'll say, oh, we should be proud because one of our people became Prime Minister of Britain. Why aren't we proud of our people who became president of Nigeria? Is Britain better than
Mm.
Nigeria? What you understand what I'm saying?
I
It's
understand what
like
you're saying.
it's like if someone wins the American award for music, we praise them, but when they win the Nigerian award, we say no because we feel inferior. Why should I
Yeah.
care? I'm proud of, even though Tinubu is a bad boy, I'm still proud of him because he is the president of the world's blackest nation.
No,
We
yeah,
have the
sure,
most black people in the world, and he's the
sure.
president. And even if I don't like him, at least he's a Maradona. So what I'm saying is, why are we
Mhm.
celebrating that she's doing well in England? It means we feel that it's more honorable to be a politician in England than Nigeria. We hate ourselves, and that's why we're suffering, and that's why people like her can talk bad about us. What do you think, Afolabi?
I agree with you. She criticizes Nigeria for corruption. There's corruption everywhere. She talks about failed services. There's failed services everywhere. In 2022, there were energy crises in the UK. They faced a lot of blackouts and skyrocketing prices of energy and payment for electricity. It's a big
Yeah,
issue. So it's not unique to Nigeria. You know, train delays, healthcare backlogs and stuff. There are failed
and it's even more
systems
disgraceful for
everywhere.
them because they have a first world economy.
Yes. And so
And let's
it's,
remember, their economy is based off of our resources.
yes,
Continue.
it's based off of our resources. She never talks about the British imperialist exploitation of countries that they've colonized. All she tends to say is that the Britain stopped transatlantic slave trade. Who
Yeah.
cares about that?
And so my
But they,
thing is that this will be the first time and last time we ever talk about Kemi Badenoch. She's not Nigerian, and we have to respect her. The fact that she's distancing herself from Nigeria, we have to respect it. It's not by force that we must care. She must be part of us. Now,
okay.
it's not by
Freedom
force.
of
What?
choice.
Yes, her choice. So, what do you have to say, Warif? Thank you. Yeah.
Good evening, everyone.
Yeah,
Yes.
welcome,
Yeah.
Barry.
Well, I went through the what's it called, the speech, and it got to a point I was like almost getting pissed off. So what is she trying to say? Is she trying to say that there's nothing good about Nigeria,
I
or is
guess.
it that she's trying to say that Nigeria is the worst country? Does she know anything about Mexico? Some of these countries that they have, even their what's it called, their president, their leaders are even gangsters.
Thanks.
Their capones and all those things. So
Yeah.
you don't even if you were even if they gave birth to her in the UK and it was
Even
Nigeria,
Warif, not even Mexico.
you will
USA.
have the good side of
USA
every
has a higher
country.
crime rate than Nigeria. USA has a higher crime rate. Continue.
But
Sorry.
she's saying nothing about Nigeria. And you know what's about the white people, though the Europeans and Americans, they'll use you against
They'll
your own
use her as
people.
their pet,
That's what they are trying to achieve from her, because now
and
she's
they'll say, "See,
against
we are not
her
racist. We
own
are not
her
racist."
blood.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that she should just not, Nigerian government, they should just allow her be whatever thing she wants to be. Let her be on her own. But one thing I know is
Don't
that
give
there's
her
no country
attention.
that is totally
Don't give
bad.
her attention.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even the UK that she's even talking about and whatever. She wants to tell me that there's no negativity about the UK government
Ah.
or what.
No. I look at the videos
So
in UK. Kids are using swords because they can't use guns. They're using swords to kill people and rob them.
even in school, the way they attack some black children and all those things,
Yeah.
she won't talk about those ones.
And the UK during the COVID period and because they put sanctions on Russia, people go to McDonald's because their house is too cold. So they go
Okay.
to McDonald's because there's heat in McDonald's, and they have the mouth to talk about Nigeria.
Okay,
And
now
here's my
she
thing.
was talking,
And here's my thing.
right.
Since she distanced herself from Nigeria, and she's not Nigerian, she's British. Why is she always talking bad about Nigeria? Why doesn't she ignore Nigeria? What do you
She
think?
just go, let her be on her own and let
Yeah.
Nigeria to be.
And let us be. She shouldn't mention us anymore. She's not Nigerian. She said it. She's not
Yeah.
Nigerian. She said so.
So she should forget about Nigeria and move on.
I wish
Let's
Kule was here because he went
let's
to school with her. And we're going to go to the next thing. She's lying her butt off. She's saying that her dad gave her his last £100 and say you're on your own, and she had to work and feed herself in England. She's lying.
at the age of
She's telling the
16.
truth. Her dad probably gave her 100. She was living with relatives in England, and her dad paid for her schooling and everything. She said because she wants to make it look like she fought on her own. That why can't everybody fight on her own? She said my dad gave me his last £100. How does your dad even have pounds if he's in Nigeria? He gave me his last £100. No, he got for
the video is even contradicting.
Oh
The
yeah,
video
she's
is not too
contradicting
clear. It's
herself.
what she's
And
saying.
and
The
and
£100
imagine
was she in Nigeria then, or was
so
in
worried.
UK?
So Arif, imagine you go to UK tomorrow, right? But when you go,
Yeah.
somebody gives you £100, but you don't have to pay rent. You're living with your auntie or your sister or your friends, so you're not paying
Yeah.
rent. So they've already paid for your school fees. So what I'm saying is that nobody's gonna feel sorry for you because you have £100 in your pocket, but you have your school fees. You know how much school costs in England?
Of course.
£15,000 a year.
And
You
then she
understand what I'm
expects,
saying?
yes,
She
she
was trying to
Yeah.
expects,
say that she's trying to say that she's working class, and they told her no. You come from a well-to-do family in Nigeria. She said,
Yeah.
yeah, but when I moved to England, I became working class because my dad only gave me £100. But she didn't mention.
Fam.
Let me tell you the truth. She's like every other politician. She's a liar and a hypocrite. It's nothing
Yeah.
special. It's not about her being from Nigeria and England. She's a politician. She's a liar and a hypocrite. And it's our fault for continuing paying attention to her, even for us doing a show on her today. What do you say, Afolabi?
Yeah.
I agree with
More
you.
popular.
Yeah.
I agree with you. She mentioned the fact that she worked at McDonald's when she got to the UK. That's normal for every
At the age of
student.
16.
Every student that goes to the UK cannot rely on their tuition alone. They get extra jobs, which is normal.
Mhm.
It doesn't make her any less than any student. And if she says $100, she's from a middle class elite family in Nigeria. She's not working class.
Yeah.
She's making it look as if she suffered in Nigeria.
And she was going, and here's the thing, she was working at McDonald's, but while she was working at McDonald's, her university fees have already been paid.
Being paid, exactly.
What about people who work at McDonald's who didn't finish their GCE? Those people in London.
Exactly.
Those people in London with no teeth because they don't brush their teeth. Those ones, they're not in university. Their parents aren't paying for them.
And there's
Can you
something
imagine?
that the vice president
I yapped England to do. Go ahead. Yeah.
yes, so and there's something that the vice president said that I really think is noteworthy. He says Rishi Sunak, who was their former prime minister, is an Indian man.
Yeah.
And he says that he's a diaspora leader too.
And he respects his country.
And he respects his country. He doesn't look down on his roots. And
you can be, and here's the thing, you can be two nationalities. Like now, my mom is American. I'm American and Nigerian. You understand?
Yes.
So there's nothing wrong with saying I'm Nigerian and I'm British. And they'll say, oh, I don't want to talk about Nigeria because the British won't vote for me. But they'll vote for you if you're from India because they are racist. They don't like black people. And she's helping them continue their racism by denying her African heritage. Her parents are Yoruba.
Please, I want to ask a question. I want to ask a question. Does she have an NGO in Nigeria?
Maybe. Does she? Yeah. I don't know. Does she? Yeah.
Because if she continues, she's condemning the government, talking this, talking here.
I won't be surprised if she has one indirectly.
How do you want to help the masses? How do you want to help those people that you think are suffering in Nigeria? How can she help them?
She doesn't like Nigeria. She said that Nigeria women aren't allowed to talk. They hate gay people. She already has disowned Nigeria. Yeah, she's disowned Nigeria.
They hate gay people. And let her go to her UK now and go and love the gay people and whatever.
No, and we know in Nigeria, nobody bothers you. Nobody bothers you. So my thing is that, and then the British, they hate you if you're black. They talk bad about Nigeria. They said Nigeria is the most corrupt country. I remember when they told Buhari, oh, your country is thieves. And Buhari said, what about our mask? Remember that time? Buhari now said something back to the prime minister, the white guy, I forgot his name, before Boris Johnson. So I'm tired of this rubbish, man. And she's distanced herself from her country.
That is why I always respect the late Abacha.
Yeah, Abacha stood up.
Abacha does not
they told
care
Abacha,
about
you can't travel to Europe.
Country.
He said, why should I travel to Europe? I have Aso Rock. This is my country. and also Abacha flooded Nigerian market with Indian rice to bring down the price of rice. And the dollar was 1. The economy was stable when Abacha was in office. Although he abused human rights.
She won't talk about those ones.
No, she won't talk.
Oh, I know about, at least there are some. She's just behaving as if from the inception of Nigeria, from independence till now, is just bad leadership, corruption, and everything. Is it not?
It doesn't matter. See, one thing I'll say, if you're white or black, it doesn't matter. Like, let's say you marry a white person or a black person, but let's look at it. She married a white guy, no problem. She's Badenoch, and she's talking bad about Nigeria. Then she says, don't call me black. Black is not a club. So when you add up the whole story, she thinks she's one of them. She thinks that she's equal with the British whites. let me tell you,
They're
one day
gonna dump you.
she will learn, just like how they dumped Diddy, or whenever white people are finished with you, they will dump you. She will learn
They
who she
dump
is.
you.
They're
Of course.
using her now to
Mhm.
make it look as if they are progressive. Oh, we have a black lady,
Mhm.
and they said she's the next Margaret Thatcher. Margaret Thatcher, her son was arrested in South Africa for trying to start a coup within that part of the world. So to
Mm.
me, to be called Margaret Thatcher means that you're a bloodthirsty criminal. Because Margaret Thatcher was a
Yeah.
criminal. She didn't want to free.
She can never even rise to the position of prime minister because
Yeah,
she
yeah.
lacks diplomatic finesse. She's culturally insensitive. I don't know how she would be as a prime minister.
Yeah.
And if you look at, you're going to have international diplomatic challenges. And as a leader, you should be able to
Yeah.
navigate. You should be able to have nuanced views and not
Yeah, because
begin
even
to.
I don't hear other British politicians talking bad about Nigeria. They keep their
Yes,
mouths shut. But they're
yes,
using her to do the dirty work. You see, somebody from your
exactly.
own country talking bad. She's
They're
there.
just
She's
setting
Maybe
out
doing,
for
because she knows
failure. I
she
think
might
they're
believe that
setting
she
out
knows
for
too much
failure.
about Nigeria.
huh?
Yeah.
No, she doesn't
Maybe
know
she
anything. She
believes that
left
she knows too much.
and she said that when she was at home in Nigeria, she lived in VI. She had generators. She's talking about no electricity. She comes
Of
from a rich
course,
family, man.
of course, he's just pretending.
No, don't mind her. Okay, so any last thoughts, Falabi? This is our Christmas special. We want to ask you. We've been doing very well this month. This is Nigerian agenda, part of global politics, and we want you to ask you guys to continue watching our show. So, any last thoughts, Falabi? Yeah.
Yeah, her reluctance to identify with Nigeria is not merely a personal choice. From what I think it's a political strategy
Yeah.
tailored for her career
Mm.
ambitions in Britain.
So she
Because
sold her soul to the devil, basically.
yeah, she sold her soul to the devil. And in my own opinion,
That's going to be the title of our thumbnil. She sold her soul
yeah,
to the devil.
hypocritical as she is. And
Yeah.
there's nothing that irritates me more than identity politics. It was one of the reasons why Kamala
Mm.
Harris failed in the US. Identity politics does not get you anywhere.
It doesn't
And
work.
it doesn't work. And that's the strategy she's playing. She's
Economics
hypocritical.
works.
Yes, it never works. So that's just what I feel.
Same thing in Nigeria, whether you're Yoruba or whatever. If food no day, if children are stampeding, I don't care whether you're
Yes,
Yoruba
Nigeria,
or
no
I
day.
don't even care if you're from Jerusalem and you're the Holy Kingdom. If
From
people are
planet
starving,
Mars.
if people are starving, we can't hire you again because we need to fight this problem. And so, on that note, before we go to Warif, I'm just saying that let this be the last time that we worry about Kemi Badenoch because we have other bigger problems than her.
Sure. Yeah.
What do you have to say,
Worry.
Warif? I had too much beer. Warif, I said Saeed Warif.
Well, to me,
Yeah.
is that when you're working in a boss and you want, of course, you always want to support the British like our boss, so you always want to do things that
That's
will
what she's
please
doing.
them.
Yeah.
But no matter what, your root is your root.
Yeah.
Your root is your root. You can never forget your roots. That is just what I have to say.
But you should
And
be
you should
careful
know
because
that.
if you pretend too much just to make it, that's selling your soul to the devil. You'll lose your soul and your heritage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Her parents,
Yeah,
one
there
day,
are some countries that are worse than Nigeria.
a lot. Nigeria is not even close to one of the worst countries. It's just that Nigeria is the sleeping giant of the world, not just Africa. We're not doing as well as we should do. But we have culture, we have respect, and we love the world. I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
If you're South African and you come to Nigeria, we're going to say welcome. We're going to say welcome. We have
Of
manners.
course.
Despite all of our corruption, we have manners. We respect our elders. And look at the work, like how we're doing with our show. So it's not the worst place in the world. She should be talking about countries like Ukraine that went into a stupid war with Russia, and now they're finished because they were listening to the U.S. Also talk about England, in which people don't have health care anymore because everything is falling apart. The economy is falling apart. So I will say that Nigeria is nowhere near the worst country in the world, but Nigeria has problems. But when you look at the TV, like in the U.S., where black kids are killing each other, walking, the whole world is terrible right now. It's not just Nigeria. What do you think, Warif? Yeah, yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's the whole world. Yeah.
Well, what I have to know is that, like you said, every country has their own challenges or are going through stuff. But I don't know why. Maybe I'll try and know the reason why she's always picking on Nigeria. Is it because she's a Nigerian, or maybe
She's
she's trying
Nigerian.
to sell
She's trying
herself?
to distance herself because they talk bad about Nigerians in Britain.
Yeah,
So
it's Nigerian
she's
blood in her, no
embarrassed.
matter what.
She's embarrassed.
She's still carrying the Nigerian blood. So let her try and see how she can make Nigeria a better place. Not just
And also, no matter what,
thinking,
don't ever
I
talk
was just
bad
thinking
about your heritage.
if she's made the president of Nigeria, does she think she can do better than what is happening in Nigeria? She
No,
thinks
she
being a
can't.
president of an
No,
African country
and
is
let me
that
tell
easy.
you, she doesn't have the qualifications to become president of Nigeria. She doesn't even have the
Only
qualifications to go to
one month
parliament.
she cannot. She will run down.
No, she can't deal.
So
That job she has there, she's just a superstar that they can put the camera on. She's not doing real work at all.
yeah,
Thank
things
you
are
very much.
working.
Very hot show.
You're welcome.
You know, Warif, our last two shows have gotten 1,005 each, so that's 3,000 for two.
Yeah,
So we're asking
yeah.
people to watch this one.
Very
At least
impressive.
let this one be at
Very
least
impressive.
600.
They
Very
should like,
Good job.
share, and
You guys, good
subscribe.
job. And it's been a great year. Fantastic work. From starting from
Yeah.
Janadi Talks football to this level. We've reached high levels though.
Yeah.
So take us out, Afolabi. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Also, Warif, Liverpool is hot. Is hot. Oh. Liverpool they hot.
That is, I say, now that I am Man City, they are not doing well. For Arsenal to win the league, Liverpool, they've taken over.
Liverpool now
What
jumps
kind
up.
of
Yeah,
thing
they're
is?
hot. Did you see Salah today? Salah looked unbelievable, man. That guy. And Salah is playing center forward now. He's playing like a center forward. Coming up, that's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah. So,
Arsenal, I think, I don't think he's renewing his contract. Arsenal should go for him.
no, he hasn't renewed. Arsenal should take him. Yeah, you're right. So thank you, guys. We'll talk more about Liverpool tomorrow or Tuesday. So Afolabi, take us out.
Yeah.
Good show, guys. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Okay, it's been a wonderful show once again. We're talking about Kemi Badenoch, political strategist, hypocrite, and all that. And from me, from Warif and Mustafa, we'll see you next time.
All right, guys. Thank you. Good show. Okay.